Thanks so much for taking the time to go to my site. If you want to see any of the work or the people that I've helped, all you have to do is look below. The idea is simple. You need to be able to get indoors to be able to make money. If you can't get indoors, you can't make money. It's that simple. During the off season, you need to get in way more doors to stay afloat or make money versus regular season. I think regular season, you can start being a little bit picky. You can start charging for diagnostics. You can say, oh yeah, we have a $197 diagnostic charge or this and that. We're targeting only certain zip codes and things like that. I think you can do that during the during season, but off season, you just need to be able to get in front of as many people as humanly possible. And that's my strategy. And that's what I focus on, is getting you in front of people. I'm not focused on, oh, well, you got 40 leads, right? Okay, well, if none of those leads turn into appointments or money, who cares, right? So the objective is to get to the door of homeowners who you can help. Sometimes they're not going to have a lot of money, right? It's just sometimes the part of the game, right? Sometimes you're going to end up in an area maybe you don't want to be in. Here and there, right? That's just part of the game. If you're saying, hey, I'm gonna market to these zip codes, right? But even in those zip codes, there's some great areas, not always so great areas. That's part of the game, right? Now, in the campaigns that I create for you, we can weed out that stuff or just pretty much eliminate 90% of it, but understand, if say, hey, I only want to market to this area or this neighborhood, that might cost a pretty penny compared to market to everybody, right? This is like fishing. Do you want to catch all the fish you possibly can, or do you want to only catch certain fish? If you want to catch certain fish, then you're going to have to pay a certain amount to catch those fish, right? There's a golden saying: the person who's willing to spend the most to acquire the customer that they want will always get that customer that they want and will always win in that market, right? So if you're only willing to spend $100 to get an appointment in an area that is all multi-million-dollar houses, while your competitor is willing to spend $700 to meet with that person's going to get that job and not you, just because they're willing to spend more. With this stuff, I'm just going to tell you as clear as I possibly can, it is not a cheap thing to do. Spending $50 a day on ad spend will not change your life or your company. It will not. Again, maybe during like hot, crazy season, you can get some decent results with 50 or $100 a day of ad spend, but you absolutely will not scale your company with that. It is not enough money. I personally myself spend anywhere from $200 to $300 a day on my ads. It costs me, like after you watch this video and do all this stuff, it will probably cost me anywhere between $75 to $150, maybe $200 to speak with you, right? That's just how much this stuff costs, right? And you're going to have times where you are spending money 1 or 2 days and you don't get any results at all, zero. Like, that is part of the game. And I just want to make that clear as I possibly can before going on any further into what I do or what I guarantee or whatever, right? So you understand how this game works. You have to spend money to make money with especially online advertising. It's how it works. Whether you're doing Facebook, Google, YouTube, it costs money to make money. So if you're going to spend that money, how do I make sure that I'm able to maximize that as much as I can? If I only can spend $150 or $200 a day on ad spend, right? I want a lot of appointments. Okay, so you need to open up to be able to work with a lot of people if you want a lot of appointments. If you're like, I only want to work with certain amounts of people, you need to be okay with it being super slow, and you need to be okay with it being expensive. Unless you're going to open up your ad spend and spend a lot more, then eventually you're going to start getting more and more and more results at a faster pace because you're just simply spending more. So the most important thing whenever you're marketing with whenever you're running your own ads, whenever you're marketing with anybody, is finding out your cost per appointment. That's the most important thing. A lead doesn't mean shit in my eyes, and it shouldn't in your eyes, because if you never get a hold of it, it's just a piece of data and it means nothing. So you have to be able to get a hold of that lead in order to be able to have that appointment set. That's the only way that part's gonna work. Yes, sweet pea. Give me a sec. Sorry.
My dress is wet.
Okay, well, let's take care of that when you can. Okay.
I can't take it off.
Okay, that's okay. Okay. Sorry, my little one here. So at the end of the day, you have to get appointments to be able to make money. If you can't get the appointments, you can't make money. It's just that simple. I guarantee that I'll get you at bare minimum at least 70 appointments within 90 days of us working together. And if not, there's I'll send you a $10,000 check, or you get double your money back, or no. I will just continue to work for you at no additional cost. You can see the reviews of all the people that I've helped below. You can see I clearly know what I'm doing. You want this one on? So can you give me 2 minutes, please, Zaza?
I can't.
Oh, I need 2 minutes, please. So this is real life. Like this is how it actually happens. You right? Good. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay. All right, got it. Okay, now back to the video here. So at the end of the day, you have to get in front of people to make money. If you can't get in front of people, you can't make money. I see a lot of people online, they hoot and holler about, oh, I got 100 leads this month for my client at $15 a pop. Who gives a shit? If you did not make money from it, if you did not set appointments from it, then you are wasting your time. What you need to do is say, in a 7-day period, what did I spend? How many appointments did I get? In a 7-day period, how many people did I meet with, right? These are the real things that you have to look at in order to be able to scale your company from, A to Z, right? You want to go from, like my client, Brandon, he went from $40,000 a month to $850,000 a month. You want to know how I did it? I'll tell you. We ran a free repair ad for an AC company. Free repair. That's what we did. And we started out $150, $200 a day. For that first month or almost 45 days, he barely got any result. But that was before I ran the repair. Have you? Okay. So that was like a last ditch effort. Hey, how can I save this? How can I make this work? I say, you know what? I have this crazy idea. Let's run a free repair. And that ad alone catapulted his whole entire business. Because now for that $150 or $200 a day, instead of, getting so-so results or maybe one appointment here and there, like every other day, all of a sudden we're getting 2 or 3 appointments a day because of the offer. And that's what I want to get into. Create offers that get you, that's what I help you do, is create offers to get you in the door and get you in the door consistently over and over and over and over again. And that way you can create value at the door. So then you can create a sale in person, right? But if your whole thing is always, I only want roof replacements, I only want HVAC replacements, that's all I want, and I just want to go out to doors and people just to buy today instantly, keep dreaming, because that doesn't exist. It can only really exist, I'd say, probably in prime season. You can get ads to work great like that. Get a new HVAC system as low as $60 a month or whatever. That stuff can work, right? But there's only so many people who are going to buy a new unit today. There's only so many people. And that's what you have to realize. There's only so many people out there and only so many fish who need a new roof, who need painting done, who need fencing done. There's only so many people. So when you get picky, understand there's a higher cost to being picky, right? So I'm just trying to explain this as a whole so you fully get it, no matter what you do after this video, who you work with, or anything in between. That's got to be the focus, is how many people can I meet with? How much does it cost to meet with those people? Whether they buy today or not, they have a problem or an issue, they're clicking on your ad or whatever you have up there, and they have some general interest of what you're doing, and you need to go out there and help that person, right? With whatever they have. If you can sell them on, hey, maybe instead of fixing this roof, you should replace this roof. Hey, maybe instead of, we tried to flush out your AC unit, but it's a much more complicated problem than that. So now, you know what? You should replace it, right? And it's just being able to have those opportunities. And if you can't have those opportunities, you just can't make money. So that's, in a sense, exactly what I do, is I create the ads for you. I help you come up with offers to get you in the door, right? And that give you those opportunities. In the off season, it's harder to do it. In season, it's much, much easier to do it, right? So in off season, the focus just needs to be able to get there and not always be so picky. Hey, this person's like an hour and 20 minutes away. Okay, well, do you want the potential or not, right? And that's how you have to look at it in the off season. In season, you can be super picky. You can say I don't want this, I don't want that, etc., right? Because you have an abundance of appointments, abundance of opportunity, right? But in the off season, sometimes we don't have that, right? So we just gotta kind of have to take what we can get, right? So I guarantee that I'll get you to meet with at least 70 people within 90 days. If I don't do that, I will just continue to work for you at no additional cost, right? That's what I do, right? How much is it? It's 11K for the 3 months, and you have to still do your own ad spend. So that could be anywhere from 100 a day, $200 a day, etc. I'm not necessarily even so focused on trying to get you the appointments. I'm trying to help you grow to bigger margins. Like, Will and Natalie Odom, when they first started working with me, they were doing $180,000 a month. They're hitting $900,000 months, right? And what's the ad? Roof replacement as low as $49.97. That's the ad. But guess what? I've been running that ad for the past 4 years with the selfie picture of them up on the roof, and we've been spending $1,000 a day on that, right? So think about the amount of people that that ad gets seen by, right? So it's simple. It's create offers that get you to the door. Everybody knows you can't get a new roof for $5,000, right? You just can't. Maybe $6,500, but definitely not $5,000, right? But that ad allows them to get there, right? And I'll just be real, I don't make these like magnificent video ads or whatever. That's just not what I do. I focus on creating offers to get you to the door. And by focusing on that, it's allowed my clients that I work with to be able to create some crazy revenue numbers because they just get to the door more often than their competition. It's just that simple. So that's what that's why I help you do. So you can either do, like I said, the paid in full for 11K, or you can do month to month at 4K, or just do the 90 days at 4K a month. So some different options, but I definitely don't suggest doing the month to month unless you just give it a real shot and at least go 90 days with it. Understand, the results you get are like based on how good of a sales team you have, right? If you have a one guy sales team, right, with all respect, you haven't gotten to that point where you have multiple sales people, right? Because you don't have that sales process fully dialed in. And in order to grow, you're going to have to train people, and you're going to have to get past X amount of, revenue. So if you're already at certain revenues and then you want to go further, then you just, simple, hey, if we can get guys to the door between X cost, right? And we have a certain closing rate, then for every $600 or $700 we're spending, we're making a, $8,000 to $15,000 deal happen, right? For let's just say HVAC, for instance, right? Or roofing, it can be $20,000 to $30,000 a roof. So, and another mistake a lot of people make, in my opinion, is when they're working with marketers or whoever. Now, a lot of them suck, and I'll be real with that, right? And it's not necessarily they suck with the results directly. They suck at their communication. They suck about caring. They suck about like not saying, they're kind of blaming fault in this and that, instead of just taking like, hey, we have to make this better as a whole, or this whole thing's going to be a fail. Right? The pointing fingers thing, or just like not giving a shit when you call or text them, they don't pick up, or this and that. So that's a whole nother story. But my point is in this whole entire game, you need to make money with whatever you're doing, right? And you need to be able to work with somebody who's reaching back to you, working with you, and communicating on a nice, safe, energetic level with each other. So you can say, hey, this worked, this didn't work, this worked, this didn't work, and work on that wavelength. Because even if I do get you 70 appointments, that may not mean you close anything at all, right? So if you're not closing, right, then, okay, what do we need to do or change to do that? Like, and that's why I always look at like how much, what kind of numbers is somebody already doing prior to us working together? How many employees do they have, right? So I can see there's certain process that they already have, because if they don't have much of a process and like a one-man band, so to speak, and I just give them more opportunity, that may not solve their problem, that may not even help them scale at all, because they haven't been able to scale by themselves past that organically yet. So how come the ads will, you know what I mean? Or getting more sales opportunities will, right? Because you don't always know exactly what the issue is per client or not. You just try to say beforehand, how can I work with somebody who has an established system, so then I can take my system, implement it, and get you what you need. So let's just quickly recap. I create the ads for you, right? And we create the offers together. Now, I have a lot of suggestions for the offers that have worked and what I usually go to that can create those appointments like clockwork, but we're still on the same team and we still need to work together, right? I make sure like, hey, are you cool with this? Are you good with this ad? Are you good with this picture? Are you good with this video? I'm not looking for, are you cool with like necessarily what it looks like? I'm not looking for that because we're not playing arts and crafts. And I understand you want your brand to look a certain way, but the goal of this whole thing, there's different campaigns for different things. But for this goal and this campaign, it's just to get you in the door, right? So we need to say, hey, I'm good with that offer. We're good with that. Okay, cool. Let's run it. Let's hit it hard. Let's see what we get. Okay, 7 days in, 700 spent. Hey, we met with 5 people. Fantastic. Let's keep that going. Now, can we beat that or get that any better? Let's see, right? And that's when you start running into that A/B testing, right? And that's the stuff when I open up my laptop at 2 or 3 a.m. and I start, tweaking and testing things, so to speak, to try to make things better and better and better. The goal is what's the lowest cost you can meet with somebody? That's the end goal is how can I meet with somebody who's interested in the service that I have at the lowest cost possible, right? People do door knocking, people do all this stuff, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, a door knock, I think personally, is much less valuable than somebody clicking on an ad that has whatever to do with HVAC, roofing, plumbing. They're taking action there. They're putting their information in. My team's calling it, booking it, and you're going out there. That at least gives you real opportunity that they're interested in something. You know what I mean? So we try to keep that cost per appointment anywhere between $50 to $150 based on the custom offers that you and I create together. First week or two could be absolute dog shit, just a heads up, because there's a lot of testing and tweaking and things like that you have to do. But once you get things really dialed in, you can have an evergreen of appointments, and it's a beautiful thing. When you can say, hey, I put in $20,000 this month of ad spend, right? And within this 20 grand that we put in, we got back $400,000 of revenue or $500,000 back of revenue. This is real stuff that can happen. Like if somebody said to me right now, hey, Conrad, give me 20 grand and I'll give you back 500,000. Like, of course you would do that. That's like a no-brainer, right? Now, not saying these results always happen, but like for clients like Brandon and Natalie and some others, this stuff does happen, right? But it takes the right offer, and it takes the right amount of budget. So it's like finding that offer that hits like wildfire and then throwing the gasoline on it over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden it's blowing up. You're getting more appointments than you know what to do with. You're getting crazy amounts of revenue, and then you're able to scale. I will be real with you. During the off season, it's much harder to hit big revenue numbers as it is in season, but you still can get a ton of appointments and have a ton of opportunities in the off season as well. Okay, well, if you would like to discuss further or sign up, just click the button below, fill out your info, and then my rep or myself will reach out to you. I hope you learned something from this video, and hopefully you didn't take up too much of your time, but hopefully it gave you an understanding of what we're trying to do here. People are going online, they're just scrolling up and down on Facebook most of the time, or on Google, they're just searching something real quick. People aren't looking to do these long, big processes. Your job is to, or not your job, our job together is to try to interrupt them real quick to be able to be like, oh, I need that, or hey, I could use that. Click it and book an appointment. Like, you get those mailers, those Clipper magazines. Like it says, get a new HVAC unit for like $1,997. I know for a fact you can't get it for that price, right? But at the end of the day, that's what gets people to call, is those low-end offers. Just like a Range Rover. Get a brand new Range Rover as low as $657 a month, right? Everybody knows you're not going to get a Range Rover for $657 a month. When you go to the dealership, they say, oh, well, that's for 7,000 miles. Oh, okay. So you go to the dealership and then you say, how much for 15,000 miles? Oh, it's $1,000 or $800 or whatever it is, right? And that's the whole point of advertising and marketing, is just get you in the door. So anyways, hopefully that was helpful for you. God bless. And like I said, you want to talk or anything like that, the number's below. You can click the button. You can fill out your info. Multiple ways to talk further, but hopefully that was helpful for you. And if you're interested, I guess we'll be talking. Take care. Bye.